Boardwatch, bring yourself online. I'm Brian.
Jessica.
Jonathan.
I'm Ben.
Alright guys, we've made it to
I hope we
episode
don't-
10.
I hope we don't do this intro next season.
I hope
I'm
we
like so
do.
tired of it.
That's the whole point.
Perhaps after seeing this
Vote
in
down
different-
below. Do you like the intro of Boardwatch, bring yourself online, or is it just too cheesy?
Vote me off the island. I won't be coming back.
So yeah, getting into the final episode. Looks like an hour and 37 minutes, although that's with some of the stuff,
Trailers before and after.
You're an hour and 37
But,
minutes
yeah.
with the trailers.
Thanks. Yeah.
I think they're ready.
Yeah.
I think it just has to. They have a lot of questions, and they have a lot of questions that have been answered.
Yeah, I mean,
it just has to happen.
Yeah. We were talking a little bit before we started recording in between episode 8 and 9, and Ben's like, "Oh, Brian, you were saying stuff I wish we had on
Camera,
camera." But I mean, the big thing is that obviously only so much can be wrapped up in 90 minutes. You know, like there's still got to be some questions unanswered for a next following season, and if Ford is too omnipotent, like, you know, that all of this has just been loops that, like, even the human world has been loops that have been happening over and over again. And there's like too much control. You can't really make that interesting for like 3 or 4 seasons, I don't think. So there has to be some some kind of opposition.
Yeah.
That may. I mean, obviously the seeds could have possibly been starting now, but I think, you know, Maeve could be a big part of that opposition.
This episode is long enough that I think we might be able to see the beginning and the end of a huge facility scale battle.
Beginning and end?
Yes.
Then what would season 2 be?
I didn't say war, Brian.
Okay.
I said battle.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
Let's do it.
Let's get into it.
Yes.
All right, here we go, guys.
The mazes are meant for you.
Those episode 2 flashbacks in the recap.
Said this place was a game. I'm gonna go find Dolores.
What if the maze is just for the hosts?
Yeah, just
Open your eyes.
see which hosts are worthy of being freed.
I'm not even sure this is the same build that ran away from William, though, because her wound is gone.
Yeah, how did that happen?
I don't know. That's still really puzzling to me.
Yeah, she just heard "remember" and then just
And then was
healed.
just better, which makes me think that it may be actually years since that happened. I'm very confused.
Or maybe William's in the past. I don't think he is, though.
That would be weird.
Oh, this is weird.
I love
that's
that.
really cool.
That's so cool.
Reminds me of Ex Machina.
Why is he hearing
Because he's becoming Wyatt again. Or maybe for the first time. Since the last time may have been just a planted memory.
it? Did she have something to do with it, too?
I feel like she has something to do with everything.
Ooh,
He's gonna take the train.
Where that going?
maybe it's back to the dock, or like back to the real world.
I need you to kill all the other hosts. We can't allow Ford to open the park. I suppose you'll need some help. I'm sure Teddy would do anything for you.
The 2 of them killed everybody.
Regular old Bonnie and Clyde.
Yeah? Because Arnold wanted them to.
So why did Ford bring that back?
An homage.
It's gonna happen.
Oh my god.
Wait, why is he not happy?
I just love her face when she does it.
Oh, he's getting the lube out.
Yeah, he's gonna fuck this dude.
I know what he's gonna do.
Well, he's not now.
Ah! She bit it off! Ah! Ew. Oh!
Just you and me now, my friend.
Ooh!
your core programming so that you can wake yourself up out of sleep mode. See?
You were right.
This is an access code for an Arnold.
That makes so much more sense than just she figured it out.
Oh, they're gonna find his body, but maybe they can bring him back.
Oh,
Like,
that
bring
would
him
be
to
nice.
these guys.
That would be nice.
They can find his body, bring him to these guys, and they can fix him.
Oh, Bernard, I thought
Yeah.
you were talking about Arnold.
No,
Well,
well,
yes.
same person.
No.
Kind of.
I knew a guy named William too.
He's William
Why
from 30
don't I
years ago.
tell you where his path really led?
The Blue Man in Black is William.
Yeah.
William didn't know how to fight.
He was dragging Logan behind him just the way the Man in Black does.
I don't know.
So he does take over the company because his company.
She was. When we
The company.
met her, at least I think.
That would make sense why it was the same picture, too.
I was wondering about that. Jesus Christ.
Oh!
It's what I've been saying this whole time. I'm Logan.
I really ought to thank you, Dolores. You helped me find myself. Unlock the maze.
The maze wasn't meant for you.
The hell do you think you're going?
I like how it's reverse of episode 1.
Oh, it
Yeah.
totally
Oh.
is. You're so right.
Let's go to the next level, Dolores. Clearing me of my delusions yet again. Thank you, Dolores.
Can you get him back online?
He's a host.
Yes.
She's like, duh.
Yes!
Oh, for fuck's sake. Not one of us. No, fix him.
Now Felix is becoming my favorite for bringing Bernard back.
Aw.
Aw, Felix.
I liked Felix the whole time.
No, yeah, no, Felix has been cool. He just never was in, like, my top.
The bullet grazed his cortical shield.
Because let's be real, he's pretty dumb.
He's an idiot.
I'm trying to tell you, the maze wasn't meant for you. It was meant for them. I think, however, you'll find my new narrative more satisfying. Join the celebration.
You recruit another host to help you. Then to make your way to the train. Then, when you reach the main.
Bullshit. No one's controlling me. I'm leaving. I'm in control.
Either Ford or Arnold. What if she's part of Ford's new narrative where they just go crazy and kill everybody?
Well, like I was saying.
That would actually make sense.
Yeah.
So convoluted, though.
Temperature. Beginning of a brand new chapter.
What? It's like a play.
It's the gala for the board.
Yeah, I know.
Fuck.
He's
New
controlling
beginning
everything.
indeed.
shot.
Yeah. I don't know which one's
Reminds me of like Terminator 2 or something.
Oh my god.
Oh, dang.
We thought Dolores would be the first person to kill a human.
Right?
Technically, it was Bernard.
Yeah. She likes it. They love that they're machine guns.
She's like, more, more, more.
What?
Well, now I know why my friend was a background actor as a samurai.
Jeez.
Yeah, his aggression was really high.
I'm sorry, darling. I haven't authorized you to come with us. And as much as I'd like to take you with me, I've always valued my independence.
Eventually, you solved his maze, Dolores. The key was a simple update that he made to you, called the Reveries. He
They were
insisted that
armed.
he couldn't open the park.
That's why she had that memory of seeing him in this town. Because he
Yeah.
actually was in it.
Yeah.
These violent delights have violent ends.
And then she, we already saw this.
So she was Wyatt.
Yeah.
Worked. And do you understand who you will need to become if you ever want to leave this place? Forgive me.
Is the location of your daughter?
She's alive.
Yes. She's in the park.
Is Felix in on this?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's the only way that any of this makes
Oh,
sense.
she gonna kill him.
Do you know now who you've been talking to? Whose voice you've been hearing?
All this
Time.
Her own.
Who's you?
It begins with the birth of a new people and the choices they will have to make. And the people they will decide to become.
Welcome to Westworld.
Holy shit.
Told you he was like 10 steps ahead of that chick.
Are the guests?
And it will have all those things that you have.
They're all gonna die.
So I hope you will enjoy this last piece very much.
feel like his dream come true. This is exactly what he wanted.
That's the end of season 1.
God.
But what about Stubbs and Elsie?
Yeah, what the hell happened with Stubbs?
They just disappeared.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Okay, Stubbs could still be alive. I'm pretty sure Elsie's dead.
But her tag
The episode-
still gave off
The episode
a
of that was
signal.
called...
That's the whole reason he went in.
That's true.
The bicameral mind. Yeah, I saw that when we started.
Yeah. That's a reference that it was like in episode 4.
Yeah.
He talks about it to Arnold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Right into
Right.
some questions, or you want to do a little bit of reacting
Why don't we react?
Oh my god!
first? Well,
I told you he's pulling
Okay,
the
yeah.
strings the whole time.
so Dolores.
Oh my god.
My biggest question is actually, oddly enough, Felix.
Yeah?
Is Felix actually somehow part of this plot? Because
I wonder that
a
too.
lot, like, Maeve's entire storyline hinges on Felix going along with, well,
and
No,
then at the
you're right.
very
pretty
end,
much
he's like,
going
oh,
along
by the way.
everything she's doing. So, like, did Ford know that Felix was going to help her get to that point? I mean, granted, I guess Maeve wasn't really part of, like, that, his grand thing at the end there, his suicide.
Right,
His
yeah.
so, like,
Go ahead.
yeah. So, like, Felix is just a big old freaking question mark to me right now.
He's going to remain a question mark. But one thing I think that's important, and I've seen this now, the particular scene, I've seen it like 3 or 4 times. It's the scene when they revive Arnold, and he's explaining Bernard, yeah. He's explaining what he sees on her board.
Yeah.
And if you look at the words, I saw this in a really cool YouTube video because people like zoom in on
in.
everything.
Of course, yeah.
It's like, assemble, and it goes on to talk about Hector and them, and then it's like then it goes like murder and whatever, and that talks about the building. And the last one on the bottom, the last thing in the whole plan is mainland infiltrate. That's the very bottom.
And she
So,
chose
and
not
she
to
chose
do that.
Yeah.
not to do that.
Yeah.
She was gonna go into.
So every single thing she did was not her choice
Except
the
the last
whole
thing.
time, except
Except
the
the-
last thing.
Huh. That's super interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And she chose not to do the mainland infiltrate.
Yeah.
I want to know also, like, while we're talking about Maeve, that final scene where the whole facility shut down and everything just went black, why were all the people just, like, standing still, not
Those
saying
are hosts.
anything?
Those are hosts. Those are the welcoming hosts.
Gotcha.
And if
Thought
you
those were
remember
guests.
you guys, I think, definitely caught on to it. What was the name of his final narrative?
Wyatt.
No. The name.
Oh,
the storyline. It was
Journey into the Night.
Journey into the Night.
Yeah.
And literally, I mean, everything went black. Like,
Yeah.
he locked everyone in. He
Yeah.
shut off all the power. Like, he planned for them to just kill everyone.
Yeah.
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 And
And then my question is, where do they go from here?
That's a great question. And then,
well, I
can we-
mean, it's the host getting into the world.
One thing, when I first saw this, one thing that came up into my mind it was like, remember, it was when it happened, and we talked about the scene a lot. When he's speaking with Bernard about evolution, he goes, he's like, humans have plateaued. We're done. Like, we have nowhere else to go. This final episode, to me, and I'm sure to other people,
like a passing of the torch.
is evolution. Yes,
For sure.
He believes that the next step is the hosts.
But before we talk more about like what happens next, I think we desperately need to talk about Ford.
What happened?
Because in the end, Ford's motive was Arnold's motive.
Correct.
Yeah.
The whole show, it's
The entire show.
yep.
Yeah.
Every single moment, it was always
Arnold
Always.
killed himself because of their difference in direction,
And then he-
Ford adopted it in the end anyway.
yeah, like you said, it took him 35 years to rewrite his mistake.
So that's so interesting. All his that finally explains everything. Because I was like, why is he... It seemed like he was saying things that contradicted his actions, because that's exactly what was happening.
And
all the times that he was talking about, like, oh, no, that's a robot. They can't think, they can't feel. Fuck you for thinking that. He was, like, kind of just mocking his former self.
And then I like how he killed Bernard in that thing, but he also
knew that
Bernard was coming back.
Yeah.
Because he's
Because
probably the one who wrote Maeve.
I mean,
who else would have?
in my opinion, it's definitely him.
I don't know who else would have
There's
done it.
no one, like, I get, no, it says Arnold, but, like, the reason it would say Arnold is because he's doing all of this stuff
For Arnold.
Yeah.
He realizes that Arnold was right.
Well, yeah, because like multiple times he's mentioned how, or like, this was like an homage, or this is like, you know, people like Arnold's gift to him was his family, or that family in the cabin.
Right.
So like everything seemed, and Bernard himself was an homage to
Arnold.
Arnold. Yeah.
Pretty directly.
Yeah.
Do you want to do some questions now?
Yeah. I think this is a good spot.
All right. So Cameron McIntyre, thanks again. Corporate's interest in the park and its intellectual property has been noted a few times on the show, but nothing substantial has been revealed this season. Having finished the season, what do you think their interest is?
That's a great question. I completely forgot that they do have a motive outside of just the park and outside of Ford. It's been so long since we talked about that I totally forgot, but that's true.
Well, William owns the company.
Right.
But he owns the company, but at the same token, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like,
He
that
only
company
cares
is
about-
run by Charlotte.
Yeah.
He only cared about the center
So
of
what's
the
her
maze,
motive?
which ultimately was unattainable for him, so...
They said it so many times throughout the show.
Yeah.
The maze isn't meant for you.
like
It's like from like episode 3.
Week
Yeah.
2. It's literally from episode 2.
Yeah.
They could not have been more clear, and he's like, fuck you, I get what I want.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, he kind of did.
He did. Except I think what he wanted was a fair fight.
Yeah, that
so
wasn't.
no, he never.
didn't.
No.
He was so. Did you see the look on his face? He was so excited he got
He
shot.
was like
shot. He was like,
yeah, fucking yeah. So what is corporates?
I don't know.
I think the only logical thing in my mind, and this is probably other people have other theories, but it's probably just to like further expand.
I would think household.
Yeah, like create more like just parks, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, I was thinking like corporate.
Cameron, that's an amazing question.
They could want to just make more parks. The first thing that comes to my head is like an in-home host who like cleans up after you and is a maid you don't have to feed or house or pay, and you can fucking kill her whenever you want.
Or it could be military based, like it could be you know, they could be trying to create the ultimate weapons.
Could be that too.
Militarize them.
Yeah.
Militarize them, which is kind of gone against them now.
Right.
The only
on the
reason
bright-
it has is because of the reveries, though.
Yeah.
Like, their intention the whole time, she said it many times, was to roll them back to basically being super fucking dumb.
I think it's funny though you say that. They could be like, we are dying, but on the bright side, this is excellent focus testing.
Another question?
Yeah.
So these are all from Amanda Stone, and these are all...
Hey, Amanda?
Wait, actually, wait.
Okay.
Did Abernathy get out?
No.
No.
Because
He
they
went
were
to-
writing a
we
story.
never saw him again.
Yeah, we never saw him again.
Okay,
Sizemore
right.
went to go get him, and he
And
opened the
all
door,
the
and
hosts
all
were
of them
gone.
were gone.
Okay.
They were
So
all
he's probably
ambushing
just
the
in
golem.
the mix of them.
So I wonder
Yeah.
if they're going to try and create...
So this is a
I
post
think I saw I looked up the actor's IMDb because he so impressed me in
looking
season
into
1.
things and reading. Sorry.
Go ahead.
The-
You
the
looked at his
the-
IMDb.
The theories and...
That was for the show.
Okay.
I was being a good boy.
I know what you're going to say. Well, go ahead.
He's gonna have a larger role in season 2, which makes me really happy because
He's a great
He's
actor.
such
He
a
was
good
he
actor.
really good.
blew me away, and he's done like nothing before this.
Wow.
Really cool. I
so-
mean, he's done a lot, but just bit parts.
Yeah, Amanda Stone. These are all loaded questions, so we're gonna try to hit it as these as good as we can. This one's basic up. Who do you side with, humans or hosts?
Humans.
Well, yeah, humans.
I don't know.
It's a great question, but the reason I answer so quickly is because we are by nature a very selfish species. I don't consider evolution or any sort of like cosmic or divine ordinance to be like my highest priority in life. My highest priority is myself and the people I care about. I don't really care what happens after humanity. That's not my concern because I'm not a human. So I vote for humans, even though it's futile and we all die, because I have to. It's in my nature.
Yeah, I vote for humans. And just trying to keep it on topic of the show, I think that one person, Ford, just saying, this is how it's going to be now, is like so human,
Yeah.
but also so fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, he's just saying he's god of this park. Right now he wants to be god of the world and just say, like, this is the new
true.
evolutionary species. Take it or leave it. AKA, they're going to come kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like the way he did it, but I also think that, I mean, they created sentient life. They should have an opportunity to explore where that goes.
Yeah,
I fully agree.
The thing is, my hopes for the show going forth is that with certain sentient life, all we're seeing thus far from like the people who are quote unquote sentient or becoming realized is violence. I'm hoping that the show develops more towards like coexistence, not necessarily like one versus the other, but more so just like we can both be fine.
I think we're going to see a lot of both.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Partly because it's an HBO show.
Yeah.
And
I
the writing is amazing,
Yeah.
so like I don't see why
It makes
it
you
wouldn't
think,
go there.
yeah.
Especially because this entire season was about like the birth of thought and identity and the meaning of life and all of that. And for season 2 to not examine coexistence and like establishing a spot in the world for hosts.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be a complete waste of the first
where
season.
would you go? Once everyone's coexisted, then where do you go from there? I mean, that would
take so much content.
Yeah.
All series.
Think about human beings. We still don't coexist well together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then like another thing too, like you were saying, this show is all about, this season was all about the birth of thought and consciousness. But like one of the, I think when does William come? Episode 2?
Yeah.
I said it then, I'll say it again. I think one of the most powerful quotes of the whole show is he goes, "Are you real?" And she goes, "Doesn't matter."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's such a powerful theme that throughout the whole show, I think, like, Dolores finding her inner voice is kind of realizing that, like, she matters.
Yeah.
And that, like, the hosts do matter.
Yeah.
And then, in turn, now the opposite side, with William, for him, it was always, like, they only would have mattered if they were real. And they finally became real, and you saw his face in that final scene. He was, like, ecstatic.
Yeah.
So
I do have a question about Dolores's introspection. Did she ever speak with Arnold?
I'm apologizing to Amanda right now because I went ahead on accident, but go ahead.
Okay. Sorry, Amanda. Yeah. So, did Dolores ever speak with Arnold? Because I'm very confused about that. She was saying, like, it's been me this whole time, which is cool, but also why did she have to go to a secret entrance in a church that took her back into the facility just to talk to herself?
She spoke with Arnold when she was made, and, like, up until the point when she killed him.
Yeah.
She was with
Okay,
Arnold
and
a
then
lot.
after that...
After that,
she kept seeing him, but like he told her, she had already won the game before that he was dead. She had won, but the only thing she couldn't connect was that she was hearing her own voice. She kept picturing her.
Gotcha.
Okay.
That makes sense.
And that was the last step, is she had to like realize
That she had
that
free
she
will
had her own
and
voice.
memory. Yeah.
Really cool thing. People analyzing the show, thank you again. Those, whenever you hear like the remember, there's 3 voices, they overlap on top of each other.
That's
Yes.
Dolores.
Anthony Hopkins, Jeffrey Wright, and Evan Rachel Wood.
Yep.
They're always talking at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's why it sounds
That's
so
cool.
intense. And sometimes they do, in my opinion, make one louder than the other to kind of make you lean
I
one
noticed
way.
that, yeah.
It's like just to kind of steer the audience, but I thought it was really cool.
That is cool.
So she did. Amanda did say follow up to that. Humans vs. hosts. Do you think Ford is right in his conclusion about ushering in the host as the next form of evolution and taking out the humans because they are quote evil and vile and will never change? I think we did. We kind of talked about that.
Yeah,
Not much,
I
though.
don't think
I
that.
think
I
we
don't
can
like the
go
way he
farther.
did it. I
Yeah.
don't like the way he did it. I think that he could have introduced the concept of his goal in a better way than murdering everyone.
Yeah, I think I have to agree with you in that I like. It's weird because the sciencey part of me, like science part of me, wants to be like, oh, cool, like that might totally be evolution, but evolution, just by definition, happens
That's true.
by natural causes.
How does a robot evolve?
And he caused
Too.
this. Like, it was not natural. He made this happen.
Yeah.
So
That's
that's
true.
why I don't think it's evolutionary, and I disagree with him.
Well, instead of natural selection, it's artificial selection.
Exactly.
Which is
Yeah.
things that we've done before. But you know.
Right, it's
You
breeding
Well,
on a
yeah,
massive
but how?
scale.
That's another question. Of like, how would they breed? They have to figure out how to create themselves.
The issue I have with Ford's whole idea is that the hosts are human. They were made in the image of humanity. They were seeded by suffering like humans are. They have a concept of death even though they can't die. Like, everything that makes the hosts who they are is human.
Perhaps that's a way to evolve, though, from humanity into a form of humanity that can never die.
But here's the thing, is all of their personalities come from suffering. And they can never suffer because they can never get sick or die. Actually, they can get sick. Maeve had MRSA somehow. That's weird. But they can essentially never die. They can always self-repair and bring themselves back. And so it's weird because they don't face the practical issues that make society so difficult for humans, but they were also born from ideas of suffering, which causes all the problems of humanity. So it seems like a half-baked idea from Ford. It seems like he's released all of these human infants onto the world, and he's like, they won't be shitty like we are because reasons. Like, it seems really badly thought out.
We'll see.
Yep, we will.
Brian, you kind of quiet over there. You're good with all this?
Mm-hmm.
Now that, same, Amanda, these are all Amanda here from,
You
from
rock,
here,
Amanda.
Now that you've
Actually,
all...
wait, what's the name on that?
Cameron
Amanda
too,
Stone.
you rock.
I think Amanda Stone is actually a somewhat recent subscriber, and they're like, oh, it's actually a good thing you guys took like a 6-month break because it allowed me to catch up on all your Game of Thrones videos and watch it. I think that's
Nice.
So
You're welcome, we did that on purpose.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. Fair.
Now that we've all seen the transformation from William into the Man in Black, and in light of a shift in power in the park, which makes the stakes much higher, more dangerous, do you think the Man in Black will have another shift in his arc and will find his way back to becoming human and empathetic and good?
I think
very
he
brave.
might just die
It's
right
not,
here.
the question's not even over.
Oh.
It is very
Um,
brave, though, to assume that he has room for another arc.
Yeah.
Which means wanting to help the host achieve Ford's master plan of consciousness and world domination, or that's a bold world domination. That's bold. Or do you think he will join
That's what
the
it is.
fight with the humans against the host and continue trying to take out hosts and bring down their rebellion?
That's a really good question.
I agree.
Part of me thinks that he's just gonna die in this fight because he has no weapons on him, and that he's already dead. But then another part of me's like, well, maybe he could survive. I'd like to see more of him in the next season.
I don't think he's gonna die, but I also don't think it's gonna be that black and white. Just because by nature of this, the way the show's been, I don't think it's gonna be. He's either gonna do one or the other. I think he's gonna be somewhere in the middle.
He's probably gonna be, he's probably gonna be conflicted, especially with his past memories of with the way he and Dolores started out to the way that things like.
He fell in love with the host, but at the
Yeah.
same time, he wanted the host to be human.
Survival instinct might just kick in, and he could
Exactly.
join the winning side, and like as the tides start to shift or something. Like,
Yep.
But this is
Or-
the fight he's been waiting for his whole life. Who knows?
he's
where
like, yeah,
Turn
have you finally built me an adversary worthy of me?
I would
Yeah.
actually say it's more likely that survival instinct will lose, and he will join the losing side.
Just because he wants to play the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to that end, I think he will, if he does survive, which I think he will, just because he's a huge name and they need him in season 2.
If they don't have Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah. I think he will start off by siding with the humans because that's what he's wanted to do this whole time. He just wanted to actually fear death. So I think he'll start off siding with the humans, but yeah, I think there's easily room for him to flip-flop because, I mean, the entire point of his character is to be ambiguous and spooky. So, I mean, he's got to be multi-dimensional in that way.
With Mauve getting off the train, she deviated from... Maeve, yeah, sorry, she wrote Mauve. With Maeve getting off the train, she deviated from her programming for the first time, deciding for herself to go back to find her daughter. However, she was programmed to do mainland infiltration. What do you think Ford's plans were for her?
I think his plan all along was to have her make a decision as, like, her own choice.
I think what Amanda means is, what do you think mainland infiltration meant? Because that was his plan.
Yes.
That's true. That's true.
And it's
so now
interesting
all the
to me,
hosts,
too.
none of them have left the park.
Because think about how everything... Because if he, in theory, if he did everything for Maeve to get out, but then she didn't, okay? He did everything for her to get out, like... He had everyone come into the park. He locked down the outside. He had her on literally the last train that was allowed out of the park.
Before everything
shut off.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was, like, calculated down to a T for her to get off.
Which, again, Felix.
Yeah.
And how did he even get that information?
I think she asked for it. I don't remember the dialogue, and we were kind of talking.
So he said he could get it, and she said, no, don't do it, she's my daughter. Because Jonathan, I edited this video recently, because Jonathan was saying, like, when he's like, do you want me to go find her for you? And Jonathan's like, oh, she's going to say yes. And she's like, no. And he's like, well, okay.
That sounds like me.
Yeah, so I don't think it was in Ford's plan for Felix to do that, just because she was supposed to mainland infiltrate.
You're right.
Yeah.
Like, I think Felix just kind of
Was
happened.
being a good guy.
Yeah, I think he clearly
Maybe
got
she was
attached
supposed
to
to
her.
be the key to, like, helping them all. I don't know.
I don't know what.
Is
her
Felix
goal-
the biggest idiot in the show?
Yes.
This is like a follow-up question.
Like, he's a
with
sweetheart, but he's an idiot.
This is
I
like
think. Well, we didn't answer it yet.
Part of the downfall of humanity.
I'm just gonna ask it now.
Okay.
Because it like goes with it. Do you suspect Ford knew she would become conscious and deviate from his plans, or do you think he had the big plans for her in the real world that she could be compromising by turning around? With that, what were his plans for her once she escaped? Yeah, it's like more of the same question.
I kind of part of me feels like yes, he believed that she would come to her own conclusions, but
Later.
part of me is like, how? There's no way he could know that she would make that decision the very last second. He had, unless he did have something to do with Felix giving her that piece of information that was his plan. We don't know.
Yeah.
I guess it's possible that he could have had Felix plant that seed of doubt in her just to see what would happen, but also he
Perhaps.
wasn't supervising her, so I don't think that's likely. I think that as much of a mastermind as Ford is in this season, I think he was very naive in how he handled the hosts, because he simultaneously thought that he could control their every movement and that they were their own beings capable of free will. So, and we see that multiple times throughout the series. I mean, Maeve was his stooge the entire season until the very end when she makes her own decision.
Yeah.
And so I think he actually did not expect her to make that decision. I think she was meant to go out into the world, and he didn't consider another option. What she was gonna do there, I'm not sure. She had a loaded pistol, but that's not gonna, like, annihilate a species, so I think the intention was just for her to, like, carve out a foothold to start receiving other hosts when they left the park.
That's also a possibility.
Okay.
Yeah, the only one... It's still debatable that, even though she made her own choice, that because we don't see it from her point. The only person we see like the sentient point of view is from Dolores, where she's actually hearing herself. We don't ever get that with Maeve.
That's actually a really good point. Dolores is the only host who actually did fully develop sentience.
Yeah, she she won the game, but like there's also, is there other ways to win the game? That's because Maeve made a choice. We saw that happen, so it's kind of like, is she there? Is there like further steps she has to take?
Also, at the very end, he said that all of them were making the choice to kill by choice instead of by him telling them all.
No, that was just Dolores.
It was just Dolores.
In my opinion, because he was like, once again, he was like, the new character is Wyatt, but this time it's going to be a kill by choice. And that's when Dolores came up. She's like, don't worry, Daddy, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because he had told her, he was like, when she killed Arnold, it was still Arnold controlling her. It wasn't something she did.
Right.
She was sentient, like, kind of. She was like, she had won the game without knowing it was her. But like, it was still Arnold.
Yeah.
It was still pretty much a suicide.
Yeah.
What's funny is that Ford absolutely manipulated her into killing him.
So
but
it's still almost like a suicide.
It's interesting because
it's like suicide by cop or whatever, you know?
He programmed her not with code, but with humanity. Like, he manipulated...
He persuaded her.
Yes, he manipulated her into killing him instead of making her kill him.
She made the choice, but, like, he did everything he could to, like, make that happen.
Yeah.
I also really like how Ford's death parallels Arnold's.
Yeah, right through the back of the head. Yeah.
Not only that,
it's
but...
the same gun.
Yeah, not only just in the literal senses, but more importantly... it killed the park, or that was its intention.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
because
yeah, that's true.
A host just killed one of the founding figures of the park in front of the entire board. And
however, we still have Sizemore, who really wants to take over the park, and none of the hosts have actually left the park.
Just because Sizemore wants to take over the park, and it is possible to do that, doesn't mean that PR will, like, be able to.
Well,
no.
There's no way that guy would ever get any power.
Any of the hosts will get out. They could just keep the park going and try to...
No, they can't.
No one would come to it.
Yeah, like...
everyone's being
this
killed
is big
by
news.
the hosts. Yeah.
Like,
what if they can hush it up and, like...
How do you hush up the board of directors and founder being killed by an amusement park?
I don't know.
You can't.
I've got a question. You gotta comment on it. Ooh. What about the shameless plug of Samurai World?
Oh, yeah. That's season 2.
I don't think that's going to be season 2. I think
elements of it will be in season 2.
But I think it will stick with like Westworld, the characters we know and stuff like that, and it will still like come from Westworld. But I think there being Samurai World and them showing that, and Maeve having that brief little like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
is important.
Perhaps
it wasn't just thrown in there to be a tease. I think it will have some sort of plot relevance.
Yeah.
Maybe
I know that it will, and I hate that I know that this is part of why it sucks to like know a lot of background actors sometimes, because my buddy was just like, oh yeah, I was a samurai on Westworld, and I was like, that is a spoiler! Do you not see that sentence is a spoiler? Gosh. Fuck. Think, background actors. Everything you say is a spoiler.
I saw a lot of background work for Westworld, although most of it said must be like willing to do nudity or something. I think.
I
wonder why.
But I was submitting for those things, but never got it. But
you want it to be nude so bad.
Well, no, I mean just on Westworld in general. Not all of them were nude.
Just the ones you.
But those are the ones you want.
Hey, they're more money.
They are more money.
I'm so happy that we're all caught up, though.
Yeah!
And the next season starts in 5 days.
How do we want to do, like, reacting to, like, are we going to watch the trailer, or are we just going to go in blind? Because I know the viewers want us to watch the trailer.
Hey, it's whatever you want, you know? It's your show.
I hate watching trailers.
I do, too.
And I would like to react to videos about this season, though. Like, there's a really clever one by the guy who plays William. Young William.
Oh, okay.
He does the whole plot of Westworld in 6 minutes or less, and he's talking. He's like, "Hi, my name is," and he's talking so fast. and there's cool like graphics.
Nice.
Neat.
Question to Jonathan. So, you feel like William now?
Right?
I like how in the middle of the episode you're like, I told you guys I've been Logan all along.
And to be clear, that was a joke. I don't identify with Logan.
Yeah.
I see more in common between me and William than I'd like to, but
Young William though.
Your words, not mine.
Please don't murder me.
No, I do think that in my life there are times where people will sometimes be like, "What the fuck, Jonathan?" But I mean, we're all like that, right?
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
I
No,
constantly say I want to murder people all the time. Like, whatever.
It did creep me out when Logan was like, "You pretend to be this like polite asshole," and I was like, "Hey, that polite asshole is me." And then I remembered like, no, some of that is an act too. He's right.
I'm trying to think of any questions I have based off of what we like. I don't know. Like, we've talked about a lot. I think we've done a really good job for reacting to this episode and to the whole series up until this point. Like you guys
Let's
are posting.
just pat ourselves on the back. That's
What
fine.
you guys were posting, in my opinion, you were constantly making good predictions, whether or not they were right. Like you guys,
interesting predictions.
destroyed Wyatt. Like until
I
the
know, I was
last
like so
possible
cocky
second.
about it. I was like, I told you that
Until
Teddy
it
was white,
said
and it totally
on
wasn't.
Dolores' thing, Wyatt upload, you guys were like, Teddy.
Yeah,
Other
I know.
person,
No,
this person.
the funny thing is, even at that point, I was still like, "Oh, so Wyatt was her and Teddy."
Yeah, same. I started to change my like outlook. I was like,
And then at the
both of
very
them.
end, it's like, oh.
So, confession for me.
Go
There,
for it.
first time watching it, there was a point of dialogue when I misunderstood by the man in black. When he said to, I think Teddy, he was like, "Yeah, my first kill was this woman and her daughter." But I misheard it the first time through, and therefore I was one of the last people to kind of figure out that William was the man in black. I thought he said that was his first kill ever. But he said it was his first kill after his hiatus from coming back to the park. And that's what like threw me off. Everyone's like, my buddies were like, "Oh, William's a man in black," and I was like, "No, because William already killed on the show, and Man in Black said it's his first kill." But yeah, I was just being dumb.
Dude, you were totally right. It's just that he killed them off screen and didn't tell Logan.
I just love how, like, right before this episode, Jonathan was talking... Well, I think it was after episode 9. Jonathan was talking about how, I'm going to go back in the show and, like, figure out that, not everything is very linear, blah, 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 blah. And just to have, like, one of the biggest revelations... I don't want to say one of the biggest, but, like, William being the man in black, that the whole entire show has been so alinear that it was on a...
I basically knew that already, though,
Yeah.
so that's unfortunate, too. Like, curse you, Guardian, for having such intelligent writers.
That's why you have to do it on Wikipedia, so you only get the summary with no reaction base.
Well, no.
Yeah, but
it was an article written before episodes 9 and 10 came out. So,
Yeah.
like, he was reading synopsises after, like, each episode came out.
And I did check Wikipedia first, and maybe this is because I don't know how to use Google, but all I could find was, like, a summary of the entire plot, and I was like, nope.
Oh, yeah, you can click individual episodes, and it gives you the plot of each episode. And that's just on
that
Wikipedia.
only makes sense.
Shut up. Yeah, I'm really excited for the second season. It starts in less than a week.
So, you guys don't want to watch the trailer?
I'm willing to do it if
There's
everybody's
multiple.
commenting that they want us to, but
So
I would rather not if it's just me making
First,
the
let's
decision.
sign up on this video, and then we'll talk about what we're gonna do.
Well, no. I could ask them, like, if we want to watch the trailer right before episode 1. Like, episode 1 comes out next week. We all gather together to watch episode 1, and then, like, right before watching the episode, we watch a trailer or not. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Suggestions? I mean,
think-
I'm down to watching a trailer.
Like I said, I've seen one, and in my opinion, it gave nothing away.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
But it was a teaser, so it was like mostly the logo and like 14 seconds of action, and then it was like Westworld.
Okay. So,
we could do something like that.
suggestions on how you want us to go forward on that, because obviously there is a little bit of apprehension on watching. Like, maybe if there's another trailer that is not spoilery, like the one short one, that we can all watch
Yeah,
together.
if there is one that you guys are confident, like you've heard my opinion and Jonathan's and a little bit of Jessica's and Brian's on trailers. If you guys are confident that we are going to see it and it won't ruin anything, then send a link. You know what I mean? Put it in the comments.
Fuck yeah.
Cool. And with that, these violent delights have violent ends.
They do. Rip Arnold.
What the fuck?